Nah, I don't want to.
I don't want to either. Let's talk about something different.
Let's talk about sex. That's always more interesting.
Yeah, let's talk about like sex with this.
I will say, let's talk about sex with kids because everybody uses that quote to make me wrong and say I'm a pedophile.
I know, right? But everyone uses everything to make you wrong.
I know, but that's because I is wrong. I just am basically wrong.
Well, that's one of the things I love about you, though, is you're willing to be wrong.
I am willing to be wrong.
You are just wrong.
Yep.
Wrong.
It's like I've been willing to be wrong forever. This year I got the serious test, though.
What's that?
My son decided that Donald Trump was the best president we've ever had.
Uh-huh.
And he started using everything in Access as tools to how I was not being an allowance of Trump. I said, but he said this. He didn't say that. That's just, faux news. That's not true. I said, but I heard him say it. No, you didn't. You just are listening to those things. I went, no, I heard him say it. It wasn't something I just heard about what he said. It's like I actually personally heard him say it. No, that never happened. And I went, okay, fine. But at any rate, he got really mean and nasty with me over Trump. And I finally said, okay, you know what? I don't allow my friends to treat me this bad. And I don't allow people I don't like to treat me this bad and let them continue to do it. So I am not continuing to do it. Who is that?
That's my notebook. I have people here.
Okay, good. So it's like, so they, it's like they, so he just pushed me beyond the pale, and I finally said, you know what, I want a divorce. How much would I have to pay you for a divorce so I don't have to talk to you ever again?
Well, that's what you taught me with parenting too. Like you've taught me so much with looking at it from this different place. Hello?
Is there anybody who can go down and answer that?
Well, no, it's all happening out there. It's like I'm in my little thing right now, but it's all happening out there. So Anna has it handled. That's all good. But it's like you taught me so much with that. From not even relationship, but parenting also. Like you guided me through it from this place of okay, so are you willing to have your kid hate you?
Yeah, I started out with one kid, then I got two others and a new marriage.
Uh-huh.
I had one more with that woman. So it's like we had the range was from 0 to 19. And it's like, and the 19-year-old was, it's like we discovered that he had been soliciting hookers in exchange for cocaine at 9. I went, whoa, really? And I tried to look at it from the point of view of what would that create and give excuses for what he chose. And I began to realize that I had spent my entire life trying to create excuses for why people would choose things. It had nothing to do with the fact that they chose it. What's the difference between why somebody chooses something and the fact that they choose it?
Yeah.
Why do they choose it? Because they can. The fact is, they chose it. There was no why, they just chose it. Do you decide to put on blue pants in the morning or black pants? Is there a reason why you choose the black pants over the blue pants or vice versa? No, you just choose. And that's the reality of what I finally had to look at with regard to kids. They're going to choose what they choose when they choose it the way they choose it. And you can't stop them. You can't make them. You can't do anything with them.
And that's what I love that about you is they choose it when they choose it. They're going to choose what they're going to choose. They're going to choose anything they're going to choose. When they choose it, that's it.
Well, one of the things I looked at is in history, historically speaking, people were considered adults at 12. Now, why? Because they had sperm and they had eggs and they could do pregnancy. And it's like, so, it's like historically 100 years ago, a 12-year-old could have a baby. So therefore they were considered basically an adult. And they were taken, they were given a child and they were given to take care of the child and all that. So it's like today we look at a 12-year-old, oh, they're not competent. They can't possibly know what they're doing. Well, that's not their point of view. And many of them have already decided what they're going to do long before they've hit 12 years old. But my point of view is you have control over your kids until they're about 12. And after that.
And you told me this. You told me that. And you said you have control over your children until they're 12 years old. And I went, no. I have control over them constantly, always. And I remember when Nash turned 11, he turned 12. He went from 11 to 12, and he switched. He switched dynamically into this. He went from being this sweet little kid, and he was just wonderful, to this asshole.
Yep. I would like to call it testosterone poisoning, but I'm not sure it is.
Yeah.
And I just think it's hysterically funny that we have this point of view that we somehow should have control over our kids. And it's like, you don't have control over them. You don't have control over them when they're not there. I learned long ago that I had no control over my kids. What they were going to do when they were not around me was what they were going to do.
Yeah.
Be pretty good kids, I should be happy.
Yeah.
Because when they're not around you, you have not an ounce of control. And I got a big kick because at one point my youngest son, the one I just divorced, he was 13. He went to his friend's house, and his friend's brother pissed him off, so he punched the kid in the he knocked his front tooth out. He knocked his front tooth out, and I went, "Oh shit!" And he called me. He goes, "Dad, yes, son, what?" I said, he said, I got a problem. Okay, what is it? And he said, well, there's blood all over the floor. Okay. Did you cut somebody? Did somebody get cut? What happened? You go, well, I punched the kid's front tooth out. And it's bleeding all over the rug. I said, okay, I'll be up in 10 minutes. It's like, how's the kid's tooth? I knocked it out. But it's okay because I put it in milk. I went, okay, what does that mean? And he said, well, it's like we were told in science class that if you knock a tooth out and you put it in milk, it'll keep it alive and you don't have to worry about it dying. I went, okay, good. Did I have a clue? No. So I go up there and there is blood all over the floor. I took a gallon of peroxide with me. By the way, just to let you know, if you have to clean up blood, you want to use peroxide, not bleach. Because the reason that they can't get away with stuff in CSI is because they use bleach and it shows that there was blood there. But yeast blood. And so I went up and I took the bleach and I poured it on the floor on the rug and started the process of cleaning that up, cleaned the kid up. And then I can't remember. I think I called a dentist. Yeah, I did. I called the dentist. He said, well, what you do is you take and you put it in its slot and you push it really hard all of a sudden, and it should pop back into place. I went, okay. So I did that, and I popped the kid's tooth back into his head. Now, I did have to pay a few $1,000s to have the tooth fixed, because it was always longer than the other one. So they had to have it shaved, ground down, so it would be the same size. So the kid would have beautiful straight teeth. I personally thought he was cute with the one sticking out bigger because it was a great story on top of everything else. But that would have been my way of doing it, is to create the story.
Well, that's what I love about you is you're so practical with parenting,
Yeah.
with all of it. You are just so practical.
Well, it's like I'd learned long ago. It's like if you tell a kid, don't touch that, then they have to touch it.
Yeah.
Humanoid kids are like that. They have to touch it if you said don't. So I never said to my kid, don't touch it. If you touch that, it's going to be hot and it will hurt. And they put their hand towards it and they get so close and they go, oops, never mind, it's hot. So they didn't touch it. They didn't burn themselves because I had told them it's hot. Be aware. And that's really a different way of doing it.
Yeah.
And I noticed that my daughter Grace, she has this habit with her kid. He's 3 and just a bulldozer of magnitude.
Uh-huh.
The kid will not give up. He's going to do what he wants to do.
Yep.
So I was very.
Off Gampa.
What's that?
He got that off Gampa.
No. Not Grandpa. Grandpa never created such a thing. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So
he definitely got that off Gampa.
So she's always saying to him, it's like, will you please not do that? And he goes, what? She says, will you please not do that? She never says, don't do that. She never says, stop doing that. She never, please don't do that.
Uh-huh.
And it's a request, and it's polite. And how many people are polite with their kids? Not many.
Yeah.
It was funny. Good Lord, could they fucking disconnect the goddamn doorbell?
I don't know. It's all here. It's all happening today.
Okay.
I mean, at least it's not the Addams family like yours. That would be wonderful.
I know it would be full on, if I was
full on. It's ringing right now. But it's not a doorbell, it's the alarm system.
Oh.
Door. You open the door now, and now the whole thing goes off. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to talk about parenting after COVID.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So the hardest part about this is, it's like, I always taught my kids, it's like, if you go to this person's house, if they do something that's unsafe, or if they touch you inappropriate or something, run and scream. Because it's like, they had talked about how you have to teach your kids to take care of themselves in bad situations so they don't get molested and stuff. And then I looked at the stats, and 90% of the stats are that people who actually molest children are people that you know. You knew them or you were friends with them, and they went to their house, and that's how they got molested, because they knew this person, and so they trusted the person. So I taught my kids, never trust anybody, trust you. And from my point of view, that was the best thing one could do. Don't trust anybody, just trust you.
But you taught me so much with it. I remember when we were having a conversation when I was having a hard time with Nash, and you said, send him to boarding school. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not sending him to boarding school. I will never do that. And you were like, send him to boarding school. And you got me to look at it from the place of what was going to create more for his future.
Yeah. And going to boarding school is going to create more for his future. And it has already in a whole lot of ways that you just haven't even seen yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like right now he's a 15-year-old penis looking for a partner.
I want to ask you about something.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about where we try and get our kids to like us.
Well, first of all, up until 11, they do. At 12, they stop liking you, but they have to. They have to stop liking you so that they can create in their own world a place where they can disconnect from you and not need you. It's like up until 11, they're needy. Their whole life is about you taking care of them, picking them up, cuddling him, doing everything for him.
Well,
If you want to teach your kid to stand on his feet, you have to be willing to let him go. And 11 is about when you need to do that.
so true. Yep. So what about so
And they aren't going to like you.
yeah.
They get together with their friends, and their friends talk about how much they hate their parents, so they have to talk about how they hate their parents too.
Yeah.
Not how much I like my parents, but how much I hate my parent.
Yeah.
Now, I knew that my kids were going to do it, so I said, okay, all right, I want you to understand, you're going to get together with your friends, and they're going to want to talk about how much they hate their parents, and you're supposed to talk about how you hate yours. And that's fine. If you want to hate me, feel free. It's not a problem. I know what it really means. It's good.
Well, you're also willing to let go of them. Like you just different example with parenting.
Yeah. I would like my kids to have the place where they know they can come to me, but they don't need me.
Mm,
It's like I had friends who were very needy. I actually had a friend I just talked to the other day. He's my age, and his son was in jail a few times, mostly for pot. And last time he was in jail, he told his dad he never wanted to see him again. So he didn't go see him, and it's like he got let out of jail a year and a half ago, and he still hasn't seen his parents. It's all their fault that he got caught smoking pot. What? Of course they were responsible for it because they smoked pot with him, and they were bad representatives of how to be parents. What?
yeah.
You know, they were kind, caring, loving people who gave the kid everything they could and believed in him totally. Oh well.
Yeah.
They'll choose to be with you when they choose to. Nice thing about it is I realized that with my grandkids, it's like the one thing I realized is they would like me at a certain point for my money and everything else wouldn't matter.
Well, they
So
also
I just let them not like me for a long time until finally they got to be about 13. And now at 13, they love me for my money.
yeah, but you love their caring too.
Yeah.
Love it. It's like they care about you
Yeah.
until they don't.
Yeah. They care about you. They love you. They care about you. They care about you until they don't. And you just can't take a point of view about it.
Yeah.
It's got to be an interesting point of view. And through this COVID thing, you got to know that being with you all the time has got to be driving them crazy.
Yeah.
You know, they got to be, going nuts with how much they're having to be with you. It's like, I don't like being with people all the time. Luckily, I have a large house.
You do. You have a
You know,
large bedroom.
I can be alone really well without having to see anybody for days if I don't want to.
Yeah.
But it's being alone is something that we have never had much freedom with, and with COVID, we've had less.
Yeah.
You're supposed to exercise together, and you're supposed to cook together, and you're supposed to do everything together except go outside.
Yeah. And yeah. Yeah.
My personal point of view, probably be better outside, digging in the dirt, eating dirt, and being inside with a mask on.
Well, that's what we did as kids too, was dig in the dirt, find, explore.
Yeah.
And now it's just it's different.
Well, you don't do that. You don't explore. You don't dig in the dirt. You don't look for things that are hidden. Just assume everything is there for you, and you just have to open the bag and it'll come out.
You don't look for things that are hidden. What do you mean?
Well, it's like they used to have a lot more, like when they would have the searching for Easter eggs.
Uh-huh.
My
This,
parents
this,
were
that
fun
is,
on those goddamn things.
uh-huh.
You know, now they put them under a chair where you can see it sticking out. They don't put it where you have to get down on your hands and knees and look for it. They don't put it where you have to be more aware or reach up and find it. They put it at, eye level or below, and they put it out where it can be seen with ease so that nobody over two has to search for it.
So true.
It's just a different world, different time I grew up in. I was amazed to realize how different the time was.
Yeah.
Realize how much of my life I did adventures that don't exist anymore. Those adventures don't exist anymore because people do that.
Okay, now I have a drill going off in the background.
You have a what going on?
A drill. Apparently they're fixing the washer.
Well, it's good they haven't fixed their washer
The washer.
because you need a washer.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's good.
So
You're
yeah.
supposed to be the leader of this thing. Tell me what to say. I'll say what
Well, no, I'm it's you are so different with this. Like what I've done I've done 6 of these so far. And it's been about like getting through stuff, but you have taught me about parenting from this different place. Like I remember when I remember like 10 years ago when I first met you and you said you're a little bit different as a dad, and I was like, what do you mean? And you taught me about teaching Nash about choice.
Yeah.
You just and so how do people teach their kids about that without having a point of view about it?
Yeah. Well, the only thing you can really teach your kids is the choices that they have. I mean, I was amazed at this. It's like my kids when they were growing up. This old man is really mean. They hate children. I said, well, do you think they were a child at one time? Well, yeah, everybody is. I said, well, then how do you think they were treated as a child if they're treating you that way? Oh my God. I said, yeah, you have to learn how to treat people badly.
Yeah.
I wanted people not to look at it through the other person's eyes, but look at how the person got to what their choice was.
You are so different.
I'm a little strange, but I realized that I got.
You're a little strange. You're a lot strange.
I mean, when I was, grown and out of the house, but still young enough, I would go back for Christmas, and it's like I'd go, okay, thanks for dinner, Mom. I'm going to go visit my friends now. And she'd go, okay, honey, have a good time. I'll see you later. And one time I went, God, Mom, does it offend you that I come here and just sort of like sleep here and go? And she says, no, that's the way it should be. I said, that's the way it should be. She said, your friends should be your important people as you get older. Should be your friends, not your family that you've gravitate to. I went, whoa, my mom is different.
Uh-huh.
Everybody else was being guilt tripped about the fact that they didn't spend enough time with their families. Not me. I was being told I was fine and it was a choice.
Wow.
I loved it.
Wow. You are so different.
Yeah, I was always weird ass. Still am weird. But
You are very weird.
I love that, it's like what you're going to do is teach your kids about choice. It's like choice with mass. It's like if you're riding in a car alone, or there's four of you riding together in a car who live together, why are you wearing a mask? You're all breathing the same air in the house. Why would it be different when you're in the car?
Yeah.
I don't understand people who do that. I watch people as groups get in their cars and put on their masks.
And people is on their own. They drive around their cars with their windows up on their own wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because you've got to be in a place where you recognize it's a choice and you make your choice based on that.
But that's the thing with that, it's like, so kids are they're looking up to us.
They have no choice. They're shorter than us.
Yeah, I know, and they're looking up, going, "What am I aspiring to? Where am I heading right now? Where is my future?"
Stupid and that ugly?
Exactly. So, I mean, one of the things that I got was, I remember right before I started Access, where I was thinking, I want Nash to grow up in this world where he has no judgment. He has all these, and I went through all these things, and I was like, but I'm not willing to be any of that.
Yep.
And
If you're not willing to be it, you can't teach it.
yeah. Oh, say more, please.
Yeah. So it's like the thing is you have to have that place where you're willing to be whatever it takes to get your family, your kids, your whatnot than you're capable of.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I just meme this into there? If you're not willing to be it, you cannot teach it.
You cannot teach what you're not willing to be.
Yeah.
I'm willing to have the adventure of choice and see what my choice is going to create.
I love you.
Hey, thank you. I'm pretty amazed. Okay,
So we have a question. Gary, can you talk about how to balance parenting, business, and your child, all the while being at home with COVID? Tools, not going crazy.
yeah, ignore your child. Because trust me, if they get the chance to ignore you, they will. If you don't believe me, ask them to do something and watch them act like they don't hear you. How many times do you have to say something to them before they hear you? What I've watched Grace do and what I would have done with my kids, I would have said, I'm sorry, I'm on the phone with business. I'll be with you in 5 minutes. And I would have made sure I got up in 5 minutes to spend the time with them. Okay, you have to come up with a new system.
What's that?
That bell ringing all the time is just annoying.
I know it's annoying. It's driving me crazy personally, also.
And it's like balancing business is about doing business when it happens and when it's needed, not doing it according to time. First of all, if you put in your head, I need to be on this call at 10, then the one thing I can guarantee you is your kids will start acting up at 10 o'clock.
All right. I apologize to everybody because my house is apparently noisy today.
It's like it's Grand Central Station at your house today.
No shit. Crazy.
Next time, put a piece of tape over the sensor.
Yeah.
Duct tape.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like the main thing is you got to get, like when kids need time, they need time. So give them time and give them total time. put your attention on them. What we tend to do is try and, like pay attention to our kids, sort of, you know, because I remember at a certain point I went, okay, can I please talk to somebody over 5 years old? I'm so bored. I have to have somebody over 5 years old to talk to. And unfortunately, I found out that most of my friends who were over 5 years old weren't really over 5 years old. They were just older than 5 years old.
Many more entertaining.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to look at what choice, so what choice would you like to make here? I must say I'm a bad parent from a current, current parenting standard. And then my point of view is electronic babysitting is just fine. You need it, use it.
Uh-huh.
Bring an iPad, give them a television, give them something that will distract them from you. Give them a doorbell.
Give him a doorbell. Exactly.
And I've done that repeatedly. I go, okay, what do you want to do? I'll ask them, what would you like to do? iPad. Okay, fine. You can watch your iPad. And it's like they have a choice of watching the iPad or playing with me. They chose the iPad. I let them. Now, am I being bad by doing that? Am I being stupid by doing that?
No, you're giving him choice.
Giving them choice, and I'm letting them choose what's going to work for them. Because they need to learn that whatever choice they make is what's going to create the life they're going to have.
Yeah.
And that's, from my perspective, the only thing you can teach your kids is your choice creates what shows up in your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know whether I answered that lady's question or not.
No, I think you answered it perfectly. And it's like that you are so different with parenting. And you taught me that. So I'm grateful you get to get on here and say that.
Well, I mean, the one thing that was perfect is my first child was a son. So I assumed he was Jesus Christ incarnate. He did grow up to be a carpenter.
Not the same thing with Nash. Yeah.
Except Nash will never grow up to be a carpenter. That's too much like work.
No.
He doesn't believe in working. He believes in looking pretty.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, he believes in being taken care of.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the good news is your mother's more than happy to take care of him.
I know. Yeah.
And it's like, and his mother was pretending she wanted to take care of him as long as she got taken care of with your money.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have even looked at that until you started showing it to me. It's like, because that would have made me a bad dad.
Yeah, well, it's like I tried my best to be a good dad as many ways as I could, but it's like I had an ex-wife who wanted to show my son that the best thing in life to do is nothing.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That was her perspective on life. The best thing in life to do is nothing. You have nothing to do is the time when you're totally free. And it's like, and it's like, and my son is like a really energetic kind of kid that really wants to do things all the time. He can't sit still. So humanoid, he has to drum on the chair while he's talking. He's doing that kind of shit all the time. So it's like, is this a kid that doing nothing is real for? No. But she never taught him that you have to have the choice of how to use your time. It's never give up your time for somebody else's point of view was her point of view. And so doing nothing meant you had the choice and you weren't going to choose in order to prove that you had choice.
Yeah. That's so true, though. It's like teaching your kids how to use their time.
Yeah. Whole different universe.
Whole different universe. Yeah. Yeah.
So with the COVID stuff, my point of view is, okay, so where can you go outside? How close can you get to somebody without becoming infected? What are the real stats on COVID? How many people your age die of COVID? These are the kind of questions I ask.
Yeah.
You know, it's like most of the people that are my age are who dies of COVID. You know, but in the 65 to 85-year-old food group is the, you know, there are 3 million people a year die. Okay. Now they're not claiming that any of those people who died of COVID that are my age died of old age. They died of COVID. They just died. It's like, it's not that big a deal.
I know, but you like to educate people.
Do my best. You know, it's like, somebody was telling me about I think you were telling me about the thing on Netflix about the
Bitcoin and Gambit.
the things of light.
Oh, the Tales of Light.
Yeah.
Tales of Twilight. Yeah.
And it's like, and how there was one about this guy who took pictures of people when they brought their loved ones in to be burned on the funeral pyre.
Yeah, in India. Yeah.
And the happiness that created for people to be able to put their kids in that pyre.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about it for me was none of them mourned. Like they didn't mourn death. They just went that it was a celebration. They celebrated it. I was like, oh.
Yeah, because their point of view is it's a movement beyond this limitation.
Yeah.
It would be nice if people could see it as the limitation it is.
Yeah.
That would be phenomenal.
That would be.
But probably not going to happen
Never.
in a million years.
So what else do you
I don't know what else to say.
I don't either. I'm like
You're brain dead after this weekend.
I am so brain dead. But I'm also brain dead every time I get around you. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah,
I do seem to have that effect on a lot of people.
I know. And I adore you.
What to say or ask when I'm around you? I'm sorry, not.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, and I hope I helped. And if
Yeah.
I
Pretty sure you did. Pretty sure you helped a lot of people.
try to be pragmatic about your children, don't be desirous or needy of them, because if you need them, they will pull away from you and make you miserable at every opportunity. If you have no need of them and you're willing to have them in your life or not, at will, they will continue to come around, which is what I have to say about my two daughters. They both come around. I don't need them, but I adore both of them. And my two sons, it's like, all they want from me is money, so I just send them money.
I love you.
I just sent them $500 every time they called me. I probably would never have to talk to them ever again because they'd never call me as long as they kept getting the checks.
Uh-huh.
It's all right.
All right, my friend.
Love y'all.
I
Bye.
love you. Thank you.